The following is a paid advertisement. The views expressed are the sole responsibility of the advertiser.
Put the power back in your hands. This is Behind the Law with attorney Justin Clark.
Welcome to Behind the Law. Happy weekend to you, by the way. We're brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. My name is Justin Clark, joined as always by my beautiful co-host, Makaila Nichols. I like that dress. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. I was going to introduce myself. You're like, brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. I'm Justin Clark. I'm Makaila Nichols.
I mean, we know.
I know. Well, you're introducing me. No, I know. But I thought maybe I could say, hey, I'm Makaila Nichols.
And I was going to start by being nice. I said, I love your dress.
Thank you. Me too.
Is this one of those dresses that you get in that, like, you send it back thing?
Mm-hmm.
What is that called?
I'm not going to say it because they're not,
Sponsors.
Yeah.
See, I like this because it's not a whole lot of money, but you get to wear the dress once and then send it back.
It's really helpful.
I kind of like that a lot.
That's really fun.
I have another question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are getting married, of course, but we're not married yet, but we own a house together. You're watching right now. Should people who are not married buy a house together?
You want me to answer?
I want you to answer it right now.
No.
Okay. And what can you do?
But that's a little hypocritical because we did.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly right. You did.
We probably shouldn't have, but it worked out for us.
So we're going to also talk to you today about homeowners associations, and you feel like they're taking advantage of you. Is it worth fighting back or not? But here's the question of the day. All right.
I thought we already addressed that one.
No, it's what I'm going to say is, what do you do? You bought a house with someone who is now your ex. What are your options? Mm-hmm. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Here's what we'll do. A very quick break. When we return, we'll answer that question and much more as Behind the Law continues. You own a house, you need to have your windows and sliding glass doors checked right away. I'll tell you why. Joined by my good friend Dan Bringman, Renewal by Anderson. How do I know, Dan, when it's time to have my windows and sliding glass doors checked?
Well, it's a great question because it's not always obvious. One of the ways that sticks out immediately is that energy bill. We have to make, we've seen it go up all year long. Got a couple cool days now. A couple other ways are they're not functioning properly. You have some dust on the seals, and also just water infiltration, or maybe you heard a lot of rattling during some wind and so forth.
Absolutely. QR code is on the screen for you right now. What does it cost to have you and your design team come out and see what's going on with my windows?
Absolutely nothing but your time.
That's a beautiful thing, and they're going to come check it out, tell you exactly what you need or don't need sometimes. But a lot of people say, well, Dan, I'm worried about the economy. I don't want to write a big check right now. You've done amazing things to make this almost free sometimes when you compare it to your electric bill.
Absolutely, and it's a great thing to be concerned about, but we take the worry away. What we've done is we've extended our finance plans, and we call them our easy pay plans, and they go up to 144 months, and we go as low as 5.97. I mean, that's like really low. Most terms out there go as high as 12, 14%.
And if you think about what you're paying every month versus how you're going to save money on your electricity bill, this is almost free for you and a no-brainer. Dan, always good to see you, buddy. Do yourself a favor right now. Hit the QR code on the screen and call Renewal by Anderson today. Your debt does not have to control your life. You have the power to potentially lower or even eliminate your debt. I'm attorney Justin Clark. Call me now for a free consultation or visit youhavepower.com and take back control of your financial life. Justin here with the beautiful Makaila. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
There's been a major shift happening in the air conditioning industry, and Old Ash, together with Duquesne, is leading the way.
Committed to the future, Old Ash introduces a new generation of systems that use R454B refrigerant, an innovative alternative that reduces global warming potential by 78% compared to the R410A.
This change is perfect opportunity for anyone looking to replace an old unit or install a new air conditioning system. Old Ash wants you to understand what these changes mean so you can make the best decisions for you, your home, and your family. With a simplified product lineup, compatibility with both R410A and R454B equipment, and available refrigerant detection system kits, the transition is smooth and efficient.
Old Ash technicians are fully trained and certified in these new procedures, ensuring a professional installation that meets the latest industry standards. And most importantly, you'll have peace of mind knowing that their team is with you every step of the way.
With Duquesne and Old Ash, every unit installed is a step towards cleaner air and a more sustainable future. Stay informed, stay cool, Trust Duquesne.
Give them a call today to learn more about these changes and how they could affect your AC unit, and let their trusted service providers guide you through it. Old Ash, educating ourselves to educate you.
Welcome back to the show. Now, Miss Pretty Dress over here that you're about to send back, you are normally not the pot calling the kettle black on this show. We've talked about credit card debt. You pay it off every month. We talk about student loan debt. You're like, yeah, you shouldn't have any. You've never had any. You have sort of been Miss Perfect in a lot of ways.
Thanks.
But this topic, you have absolutely
I'm a little hypocritical.
a little bit hypocritical on. And same here too. So when there's a couple, right? They're not married, but they're together.
Sounds like, go ahead.
And they buy a house together. Is this a good idea? What do you think?
No,
Why not?
there ain't a ring on it.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? Because, like, look at how that worked out for you before.
Hey, now I want to talk about that. Here's the deal. Okay. And I get this question all the time. Justin, I've been in a relationship for a long time. I want to buy a house with my significant other. We're not married, but we're probably going to be together forever or for a long time. Should I buy a house with that person? The obvious answer is no, you shouldn't. Okay. But it happens all the time. And there's nothing wrong with this because there is a way to solve this problem once you buy this house, but then you decide to split them. Okay. Have you ever heard the word partition? Have you ever heard it?
I have.
You've heard it?
I just heard you say it.
What does a partition mean?
I don't know.
Okay. So a partition is designed just for this. So you buy a house with someone, then you go to break up. Inevitably, one person, like, I want to keep this house forever. I want to live there. And the other person's like, I want to sell it because I don't want my name on the mortgage, because you probably want to go buy another house. You can't get a new mortgage because your debt to income ratio. One person wants to sell, the other person doesn't. What happens in that situation? Well, you have pretty much a right, I would say. The law's on your side. You can file what's called a partition action. You know, in law, I guess, generally speaking, it's not super expensive. I would expect to pay your lawyer $3,500, $5,000, maybe $7,500 if it really goes poorly and takes a long time. But a partition is something that a judge is almost every time going to grant. So the judge, you're going to file this action. Judge is going to say, okay, you both own the house. You disagree about what you want to do with it. I'm going to grant the partition action. So it's not the worst thing in the world, in my opinion, buying a house with a significant other, even if you're not married. But here's where it really gets interesting. You ready? Well, I paid the down payment.
What about I pay the mortgage?
I paid the mortgage. She didn't pay anything. I did the upgrades to the kitchen. Now it gets a little bit more complicated. So in a partition action, most of the time, there's not really a defense to it. The judge is going to say, I agree. I want to, you guys sell the house. I'm demanding that you sell the house. I'm ordering that this house be sold. Now, the next fight oftentimes is actually about who's going to be the real estate agent to actually list the house. And, you know, sometimes the parties can agree. Other times they're like, no, that real estate agent's a friend of hers. I don't want them listing it. That becomes a fight too. And in that situation, the judge will order a special magistrate, like order a real estate agent to make the list.
Yeah, I didn't get on that list.
Well, it's funny because someone just asked me that yesterday, and I was like, I really don't know. I don't know how to get on that list. But if you can't agree on the real estate agent, the judge will appoint a special magistrate to actually list the house for sale. But then the real fight comes. The real fight is, how do we divvy up the money? So, okay, the general magistrate, the real estate agent's going to be appointed. They're going to decide what the list price is for the house. And then at some point, let's say you're going to net $100,000. How do you split it up? Generally speaking, 50% to one party, 50% to the other party.
Even if they've paid nothing.
But that's when the fight really comes in is, okay, so what if you made a down payment? I made the down payment. She didn't make the down payment. Can you move some of those proceeds to the other person? Maybe. Well, what
about if you pay the mortgage and she doesn't?
What if you paid all the mortgage and the other person didn't? Sometimes that can be considered to where it's not going to be a 50-50 split. Or what if I paid for a bunch of upgrades to the house that were necessary? Sometimes you can move that to one side. So it does become a fight oftentimes as to who gets what. But the one almost guaranteed thing is that the judge is going to allow and require the house to be sold.
Do you do deadlock clauses?
I don't know what that means.
So we had a deadlock clause.
Me and you?
Yeah, we do. In our house.
See, I don't read contracts for myself.
Well,
I'm a lawyer. I just figure I can figure my way out of it.
So maybe you should look into that.
It's probably. I hope I saved that.
Anyway, a deadlock clause. And again, I'm not a lawyer, so don't take this for face value.
Deadlock clause?
We do. So if we broke up, there is a thing in there, and obviously you didn't read it.
I didn't.
In 60 days, either I can say I'm going to buy the house or you're going to buy the house. And we have to, there's literally like you have 60 days to do one or the other. And either I buy you out or you buy me out, or we can just be like, hey, we're going to sell it.
And it's actually called a deadlock clause?
It's a deadlock clause, and it's in our contract.
Really?
Yep.
Can you print that off for me later?
Maybe you should go back and look at it. It's in there.
I'm going to look at that.
Mm-hmm. Deadlock clause. Yeah.
If you have any questions about this, maybe you have real estate with someone you're no longer with, or you can't, or maybe it's even a relative. Maybe the house was left to you from your parents to your brothers and sisters or cousins, and you don't want to own this property anymore. You want to sell it. A partition action, I think, is the way to go for you. Any questions about this? 321-282-1055. I will probably be calling myself after the show to ask about deadlock clauses, you know?
Uh-huh. Yeah, maybe that's something that you could brush up on.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break, all right? When we return, you live in a homeowners association community, and that president, the director, is giving you a hard time, but they're not bothering anyone else. Is that okay? As Behind the Law continues. Introducing to you today my trusted source when it comes to all things estate planning and probate. It is Marshall Law. The man behind it all is John Marshall. How are you, buddy? Good to see you.
Doing well.
How important is estate planning in someone's adult life?
Estate planning is necessary for us all. I think people have an idea that estate planning is for the wealthy. No, estate planning encompasses much more than just assets. It's who's going to make decisions for us if we become incapacitated. Who's going to be able to pay our bills if we reach a point where, we can't cut those checks or, handle those finances because of an incapacity issue. And it's sad, but, it's likely going to happen to us. We're living longer, and as a result, the odds of you dying without having an incapacity issue are on the, going down. So you're likely to have a period of incapacity before then. We need the proper documents in place.
We do estate planning to avoid probate, but you do help people through probate when they have to. What is probate?
Probate is the process of transferring assets out of someone's name after they have passed away. And we would like to avoid probate because it's a court case and it takes a long period of time and can be costly.
Yeah, you're a great man, a great attorney. I look forward to getting to know you better. And I think that you should always call Marshall Law about any sort of estate planning or probate questions. Do that today. I'm attorney Justin Clark. We have saved millions of dollars for people with their student loan debt, but things are changing. Is now the time for you to get rid of your student loan debt as well? Call me now. You have power. Welcome back to the show. You know how I feel about homeowners associations.
You love them.
No, I do. I mean, I love most homeowners associations. I do. It's just there are some really bad ones out there as well. Normally, here's what happens, okay? I live in an HOA community. I have two HOAs. I have a master and a sub, which happens quite a bit. You need an HOA almost in Florida to keep the neighborhood going well and looking pretty. I'm not anti-HOA. Let me talk to you directly. All right. I'm not this is to you HOA directors. I'm not anti-HOA. I'm not. They serve a great purpose. And a lot of you people who are HOA directors, you're not getting paid. You're doing it because you care about your community, and we want to thank you for your service. I mean that. I'm serious. Well, don't look at me like that. I'm dead serious about this. What happens is, in some of these communities, some of these people run for the board of their homeowners association, and they do it for one reason and one reason alone, because they're not getting any happiness or love or something at their own house, all right? And this is how they get their jollies, is by bossing people around, being on this board. And these are the homeowners associations that I have problems with, and there's quite a few of them as well. A lot of great ones, mostly great ones, some bad ones.
You want to name them?
Not really. I probably shouldn't, but I could, but I'm not going to. So there are some bad HOAs out there. Let me tell you a few things about homeowners association. A lot of you who are not from Florida who own real estate down here, what you don't know is if you don't pay your HOA, they can foreclose on your house. They can come take your house. And they come take your house so much faster than a mortgage company will as well, because homeowners associations use one of like 5 or 6 different law firms in town, and they're good at it. They're good at HOA work. They're good at coming to take your house. You owe your HOA $300, they can foreclose on your house and take your house, just like if you don't pay Bank of America. Bank of America, though, is going to take a year or 2 years to foreclose on you. The HOA is taking like 4 months, 6 months. So you definitely want to pay your HOA. In fact, I say if you have to decide between paying your HOA or your mortgage, pay your HOA first, because they're going to come take your house faster than a bank can. Did you know that? Did you know if you don't pay your homeowners association, they can come take your house?
No.
You're just learning that
So
right
if I don't power wash my driveway, they can come take my house?
So they can't take your house for not power washing your driveway. However, they can fine you for not power washing your driveway and then say, oh, you owe all these legal fees and things, and then try to take your house for that. So, I mean, in theory, yes, but if you don't pay just your regular monthly assessments or yearly assessments or whatever, they can come take your house and they can do it quickly. So an HOA is something that you absolutely want to make sure that you pay first, okay? But it means a couple things for you, okay? So now that you're a member of this HOA, you're paying your dues, this board has a fiduciary duty to you, almost like if you're an investor in Tesla or whatever. There's a fiduciary duty, a responsibility that they have to you. So your HOA and the board has a fiduciary duty to do things to protect you in some ways and not treat you certain ways. And what we see a lot of, we've said it on the show before, the term is selective enforcement. You get this board, maybe the president of the board or whatever, and he doesn't like you, okay? He doesn't like you at all. In fact, he's the one that comes by with the ruler every day just to measure your grass, you know? Yet your neighbor has grass that's way higher than yours, and he's not doing anything to them whatsoever. This is called selective enforcement, and this is specifically forbidden by Florida law. Now, before last year, selective enforcement was just a defense, right? So if they sue you, you could defend the case by saying, no, they can't do this to me because of selective enforcement. Now, the Florida legislature actually changed it, because last year they made the laws for HOAs a little less restrictive against homeowners. I'd say it's balancing a little bit towards the actual homeowner itself as opposed to the HOA, to where now we can actually sue them for selective enforcement. We can actually file our own lawsuit against the homeowners association for selectively enforcing these rules and regulations. And we do that quite a bit. But here's another thing. And jump in anytime. I know I'm going on one of my little rants.
You are.
Do you want to?
No, I don't want to. No, I'm okay.
All right. So here's the deal. And I see this happen a lot. People get so upset with their homeowners association. They're like, I want to go sue them. I'm going to file a lawsuit. Bad idea. All right. Bad idea. In fact, that lawsuit will immediately get dismissed if you just file the lawsuit, because according to the statute, you shall, what?
Go to mediation?
Yay, good work. Yes, that's exactly right.
It's like I hear it at home.
You have to follow the statute that requires you to send this very formal mediation demand letter. So in that demand letter, you have to air out your grievances there. You have to put what your issues that you have are with your homeowners association. But not only that, you've got to list 5 mediators for them to select from. You've got to put the hourly rate for the mediators. And at that point, your HOA has 20 days, and it's got to be sent certified. At that point, your HOA has 20 days to respond to you. And at least when we're involved, almost inevitably, the homeowners association is going to respond back and say, yes, we agree to go to mediation. And at that point, you normally set a mediation 30, 45 days down the road, something like that. It's not a process you necessarily want to go through yourself. I mean, you can, but I think it's better that you have a lawyer. How we handle it at my office is on a flat fee, actually. So no matter how long it takes from the beginning of this process all the way through mediation, it's one flat fee. And most people, when they come to me, they're just aggravated with how they're being treated, or the selective enforcement, or whatever's going on. And I find it to be a very effective, efficient, and not super expensive way to really effectuate change within their community. I really do. Not super expensive. At least when we jump in, because we've handled thousands of these cases, I feel like the HOA board sort of changes their tune a little bit. You know what I mean?
You scare them.
I mean, that's how I feel. Maybe I'm not that into myself, but I do feel like we're...
No, you guys have, done a lot of HOA cases.
They definitely know who we are. But one of the biggest questions I get from people is, well, Justin, when I do this, they're going to be worse to me. Like, they're going to retaliate because they're going to be mad at me for doing this. And I find just the opposite. I find
I would have to agree with if your client's saying that.
I would say 9 out of 10 times when we get involved and take this step to actually send the mediation demand, the treatment of my client gets better. Now, there's the random, because you'd be crazy. So the board of directors is not getting paid. Why would they risk getting sued even more by being even worse to my client? They're normally like, oh, crap, we better actually do the right thing on this one. We better be nice to this guy, you know?
There's always a few.
I would say 9 out of 10 times the treatment of my client gets better at that point.
That's awesome.
It is. If you have questions about this, your HOA is giving you a hard time, the phone number is 321-282-1055. Happy to sit down and talk to you off the air as well. That's kind of what we do, Monday through Saturday, even though you yell at me about Saturdays.
Please don't call on Saturday.
Call on Saturday.
Call on Saturday. It's okay. He's already going to be there.
It's fine. So I wanted to ask you a few questions, though, about homeowners associations, because 2 years ago you bought your first house, as we addressed earlier, with the, what was it called? The
Deadlock.
The deadlock clause.
She didn't read. It could be my house and you're just living in it.
Could be. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I'll sue you in full partition.
We'll see.
So, but anyway, so you've now experienced your first home, home ownership. You lived in an HOA with your parents, of course, for many years, but you weren't really involved with HOA stuff, of course. But now that you have your own house with your own, not just one HOA, but two HOAs, the master and the sub, you've gotten a few letters about pressure washing and things as well. I mean, how does that make you feel when you get those letters?
I mean, I don't always disagree. I'm like, oh yeah, the driveway does look a little ugly. I should probably do something about it. Which I get. Like, I don't want our home to like not, fit the mold and fit. I think if we hold people accountable, it makes sense.
So basically all the neighbors because you walk Stella, who's on my
friends with everyone.
So, but you do. You know a lot of people in our direct neighborhood. If indeed you had an issue with the president of the HOA board and they were sending you letters about your driveway being a little bit dirty or something, but yet the neighbor's driveway was black and they're not bothering them at all, how would that make you feel? Because that's what happens.
Great. I mean, I'd be probably upset.
And you felt like this president or the board of directors was doing it only because they were angry with you. Mm-hmm. How would that make you feel? Because that's
angry. I would be angry.
What would you do?
I'd call you.
Yeah.
I don't really have to call you. I just wait till you come home and be like, hey, there's a problem.
Were you surprised, and a lot of you are surprised about this as well, that some neighborhoods have a master and a sub, meaning they're
Which I don't really get.
I'll explain it to you in a minute. Was that surprising to you when you first started getting the bills? Like, I don't understand this. Why am I getting two? So a lot of these larger communities, and there are plenty of these big communities in Central Florida, you literally will have two homeowners associations. So one is called the master. It's the entire community, so to speak. And then one is called the sub-association. So in these big communities, sometimes there are little neighborhoods within the neighborhoods, and that's really the master and the sub. So when you're buying a house, you really want to pay attention to that as well, whether, okay, do I have no HOA? Do I have one HOA, two HOAs? Sometimes we even see three HOAs in neighborhoods, and it's pretty wild. And it can make a difference, too, because you're having to stroke a check every month or every quarter for not just one of them, but now two. But also now you have two police forces making sure your grass is cut. So if you're really a non-HOA person, be careful about that, because you can have a master and a sub. Two HOAs for the price of, two.
So yeah, not for the price of one.
What do you mean? Yeah.
Well, you're paying two.
Of course. Any questions whatsoever, 321-282-1055. If you had it over again, because a lot of people out there are sick of HOAs and they will not buy a house in an HOA. Would you still buy a home within an HOA community?
Yes.
You're fine with it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Has there been anything that your HOA has done to you to annoy you at all yet?
No.
Is that because the president lives next door and you know him?
No.
Because that's true, right?
Yeah, but we're friends. I make our house pretty, so they shouldn't have problems.
Keep it that way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good job today. Here's what we're going to do. A very quick break. When we return, I know what I learned already, and it has to do with personal stuff for me. Which, who cares? We can air that out on broadcast television, right?
Mm-hmm. My house.
If it's broadcast television, and I'm finding out things in my own contract with her on this show. Quick break. When we return, it's What Did We Learn?
It is never a bad time to prioritize your health, your well-being. That is why I come to Bellam Wellness. I'm joined by Dr. Zaidi. You are a primary care physician first and foremost, but you started Bellam Wellness. Tell me a little bit about why you started it.
Bellam actually has been my passion from quite some time. I wanted to do something a little bit more than the primary care, so we can take care of patients from inside out. We want them to feel better.
It means beautiful soul, right?
Beautiful soul, absolutely.
And I love that because not only do you offer some aesthetic services, but pain management, you really do it all. Tell me about some of the other services you offer here.
The main is, which I love the most, is my laser services.
I love it too. That's where I get my laser hair.
So the most common, as you know, is our laser hair removal, but we do the fine lines, wrinkles, scars.
Spider veins.
Spider veins, absolutely. That's one of my favorite to perform, actually, because you can see the results instantaneously. And scars, as I mentioned, and brown spots, pigmented spots.
Because we all have something that we're a little insecure about because we always look in the mirror, but you really help people find the beauty within themselves and kind of fix those little imperfections along the way. Dr. Zaidi, I trust you with all my aesthetic related services.
Thank you so much.
And your family is so inspirational. I love the husband, the kids, all of them. I really enjoy coming here.
Thank you so much. And we look forward to continue giving service to you and the whole of the Central Florida.
Yeah, do yourself a favor. If you want to check out this amazing list of services, look no further than Bellam Wellness.
People ask me all the time if I feel guilty for filing bankruptcy for people. No, I do not. I feel guilty not filing bankruptcy for hardworking families who are struggling every month to put food on the table. Call me now. You have power. And we will wrap it up for you today, as always, with what did we learn? I learned that you're going to wear that dress once and send it back.
Yep. I actually,
Let me ask you a question. Is it one wear or two wears? Or is it
it's as many as I want.
I want to understand this. I don't want to waste a lot of time, but so how many dresses did they send you per month?
5.
And you can wear them as much as you want.
Yeah.
And you send it back
when I want.
And what does this cost for the month?
It's like 70, I think.
Seems like a pretty good deal to me, actually. I don't normally support all this shopping, but I support this.
It's good because it's like people are always like, "Oh my God, nice dress," and I'm like, "Thanks," and then they never see it again.
What did you learn today?
I learned that you didn't read our contract.
I did not. Seems like we're gonna have to flip a coin or something if we have a disagreement.
Yeah.
What did you call the clause? I keep forgetting.
It's a deadlock clause.
A deadlock clause. I have a deadlock clause. I don't even know. What is our agreement? What does it even call?
Maybe you should read it.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you didn't give it to me.
Oh, no, you signed it.
Can you email it to me later?
No.
Please.
What?
I would like to see it at this point. We're talking about so much.
Maybe you should go back through your emails.
I also learned that you are perfectly okay with our homeowners association, but you've also made friends with the president, which is not a bad plan. I got to tell you.
No, it's a great plan.
And nothing that they do really annoys you, so that's fine because we do have a good HOA.
They're really nice people
out there. Excellent job, Makaila Nichols, as always. Thank you. Thank you to our amazing crew. Most importantly, thank you. See you again next week for more Behind the Law. Are you worried about your student loan payments? I don't blame you. The great news for you is now we have more options than ever. Go to our website, youhavepower.com, to find out what options may exist for you and your student loans.
The proceeding was a paid advertisement. The views expressed were the sole responsibility of the advertiser.